Today's guest is An Vedi, a Grammy-nominated violinist, composer, conductor, and visual artist. Trained at the Moscow Conservatory and honored with UK's Edward Elgar Medal.
Welcome, An Vedi, to Artist Conversation, the Century of Frozen Souls podcast.
Thank you guys for the invitation, and I'd like to talk about a few topics today.
We are excited to have you over here, and absolutely we'll talk about a lot of different things in your career and everything. Starting off and with the origin and the foundation, you've been performing on stage for 25 years, for over 25 years, right? And beginning at a very young age. So what did growing up inside music shape in you? Like beyond technique, what else kind of bloomed?
It's very interesting because to make music, to perform, and moving forward to create music was my dream and was my child's intention because I had to come from family which have nothing to do with art. And my parents are engineers and mother is architect. And it was unusual because we didn't have relatives, connections and etc. And it was I think my parents totally freaked out at my first early stage of my educational, but a few years passed when I was super young, at 4, 5, 6 years old, and it happened. I've got something, and we kind of decided to move forward at the professional level, and we have a great school here, which is like a part of pre-conservatory training,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really lucky to had professors from conservatory, uh, where they, they were teachers for really young students like me, and it was super cool and super responsible at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And what's about just beyond the violin performance, I always compose music. Like
Really?
total amateur. But I really loved theory of music, history of music. I was like a super ace student in those classes, and it really paid off. Moving forward, I was a student at 2 faculties at the conservatory as a composer too. And after I graduated, I started to write songs, which was totally different because we didn't have special faculty here for songwriting, which involves creating lyrics, poetry, and I totally learned myself. Later, I joined Berkeley online, and
Oh, okay.
that's
Wow.
from there. And it was really fun, like a lifetime journey. Yeah.
That is awesome. And all this was in Moscow?
Yes, because I was born here, Moscow region, and this was the best university.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I got in. Yes, actually, as my name was the first in the list of all string players,
Oh,
and I was so proud because as I said, my parents are musicians, and I was almost all the time in Moscow. Besides my touring.
of course. Yeah.
That's super.
That's amazing. I mean, all the time, like growing up, doing all these things, and it was funny when you said your parents were a little surprised when
Yeah.
you.
Well,
That's
they
amazing.
actually sometimes still freak out because of my new, great crazy ideas.
That's super.
Crazy.
Anne, I have met many Russian performers during my time of performing music as a working as a session bass player in India, and of course working with outside people. So the one thing I got prominent, I get to know about Russian players was their technique, their playing
Hmm.
is exceptional, and I heard that in your playing also. And
Yeah.
so that's why I want to ask, training at the Moscow Conservatory is known for that rigor and excellence. How did that environment influence not just your skill, but your artistic identity also?
Yeah, that's very huge question because you know when I first heard the sound of violin, it was I believe it was radio or something because
Mhm.
it was like mid 90s, and you know there were no no such a good place for an art in common because of things that happened in country. But I was really passionate, and you know, what about conservatory, right? You know, it's not like I've accidentally jumped from the child who just wanted to play or create music to 18 years old musician who just performed Paganini, Tchaikovsky, Bach, etc.
Mm.
Like super cool and super difficult repertoire. No, it was constant growing and constant training and self-training too. Because as I said, I was at professor's class, and it's something little bit different when you are working with a teacher or assistant professor, and with the professor, because they're like
Mm.
super high standards, and they sometimes just shows how to play, and because of they high flight of thoughts, they sometimes cannot describe what they want to hear from students. Yes,
Mm.
and sometimes I just got back to old recordings like David Oistrakh or famous violinist of Europe or American. I really liked Hafez, perform Yasha Hafez and Yehudi Menuhin. They were my favorite, one of favorites. And I'm kind of, you know, besides my working as a, student teacher connection, I was working on my own, as I said, artistic identity, because now every time I listen to contestants, for example, where contests I judge. Sometimes I don't see an identity, and even if it's like 20 or older
Hmm.
years musician, and sometimes I do see the identity in even like 10 years old, and well, yes, he or she might have a lack of technique. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We all have sometimes. Yes, and I call this in the if we're talking about performance on violin, I took it its own sound, because it's something unique, because we have body, we have instrument, and we have something in between, and it's really kind of magic. And I really worked really hard on this during my career, and I still uh,
Mm.
f- trying to find new colors, new shades of those things.
Interesting. Very interesting. Sounds like a lot of dedication and a lot of
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So, and how did you find your love for this instrument, the violin? I mean, it's I can say for a beginner, it have the steepest learning curve at a start. So, did your journey start from a violin, or it was something before and you eventually found your true love for a violin? Wow.
Wait, I don't know. I don't know because as I remembered, I heard something on radio, and I don't know what was that exactly. What the orchestral music, what the chamber or solo music performance. But it was something that inspired me, and actually, I've listened a lot of music before I entered those that school I talked about. Which is pre-conservatory training, and I kind of yeah, dedicated to this. It's not just violin; it's viola, it's cello, it's contrabass. It's like a whole perception of a stringed instrument sound. Yeah,
Mm,
I do love a lot of instruments. I do love pianos because I do a lot of stuff on piano, and I have a good repertoire. Believe me. I just like played Chopin, Shostakovich, which is no difficult repertoire. And yeah, it was kind of I don't know. Someone does believe in God, or some things that comes from nowhere, and I
mm,
think it was that. Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
interesting. So, moving on and talking about the overall craft and the creation side of things. So you move, when I heard your stuff, you would move fluidly between roles, right? Violinist, conductor, composer, songwriter, even visual artist. Do you feel these like separate identities or different expressions of the same creative core?
Yeah, I think it's still me. I don't have bipolar or multipolar.
No, 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 no.
No,
That's not what we're saying.
sometimes I do see big artists, big stars, uh, yeah, big recording artists. I mean classical music, and sometimes they kind of I feel them. They kind of stuck with something because they didn't have enough time or enough ability to explore neighborhood of the
Mm,
performance country called this. Um, I did because I composed, I wrote songs, and I sang even at little. I was little when I started singing, but then was a huge gap because of different things. And yeah, and visual art is it's something I've been dedicated because sometimes and a lot in past I did my posters for my concerts myself.
mhm.
It's kind of close graphic design and stuff.
Nice.
Actually, yes, I didn't get it in formal education for this, but I kind of feel sometimes to express myself. Or recently, I already put my artworks as a album or song covers, which I find very interesting. And yes, and about videos, it's kind of close everything. Yeah, I think it's the different angles and different sides of the whole thing of the one.
Wow, that's super.
Amazing.
You just said about the album artworks and the designs about your artworks. So do you do these designs by yourself? Have you studied or have this kind of artistic background also with you?
Yes, actually, all stuff that I produce myself, I do myself. Yes, yes, I can find some pictures that I compare, and I'm giving the credits to or photographers or visual artists or graphic designers I involve in this process. But for example, few songs, few singles from the last year. I drew totally myself by hand, and I've got kind of pretty good feedback on this. I'm
No,
flattered.
no,
That's good.
that's really great. That's really great. Not all artists can do this multiple jobs. Like as you said,
Mhm.
they can't. Not everyone can create their own artworks. But we are happy and to meet you that you have this kind of skills, and huge respect for that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an important. I think in today's world, it's kind of an important thing for an artist too, right? I mean, you cannot be, uh, dependent on everything else other than your art, like your music or whatever. If you're a player or composer, what have you. I think there are certain other things one needs to do nowadays. Otherwise, you're always dependent on all these other people, right?
Yes, it's totally okay. And when it comes to independent artists,
Hmm.
it's like
Yeah.
you're you are your own boss. You're
Yeah.
a manager, producer, customer, makeup artist. I don't know what is hairstylist. Yeah,
You're
but
everything.
I do appreciate those big stars crews, but sometimes we can reveal our hidden hidden talents or hidden
Hmm.
strengths to do
Hmm.
different things, right?
Nice, nice.
To
Yeah,
pursue
exactly.
our main goals to create music and to push our music to this world.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, it actually reminded me of the one of the greatest pop star we ever had in our human history, Michael Jackson. So that man was also like he knew every aspect of his performance. Like not only dancer, he was a great musician. He knew every
Hmm.
aspect of the lighting systems, all the how the stage works, and like many people used to get you can say awestruck, like how one man can know every aspect of his performance. So
Yeah, and a dancer.
yeah,
It's super great. I really a huge fan of musicians who can dance. I dance too at a certain at a certain certain period of my life, but I'm kind of prefer doing other things. I'm sorry.
wow, that's great. That's great. So, and with hundreds of originals you have composed till this date, I want to know how do you keep this creative spark alive after so many years of this work and discipline?
Well, it comes to finding ideas, interesting topics. Sometimes, you know, a movie or a book can, inspire me, or a certain situation in life or in life of other people, and I'm kind of trying to sublime all those things. And definitely, I'm trying my best when it comes to composing music. And as a performer, I value each note, and I know how it's important to be direct with your thoughts to the audience. Because sometimes composers like, yeah, we do have something in mind, and we're like philosophers. Okay, what's next? Who's gonna listen this? And even huge forms of music. It's kind of different time. We just have
Mm.
smartphones and a lot of devices, but each second we know where we are, and it's not like we can be lost for some time. And I'm trying to put into my music when I compose, when it's orchestral music, choral music, chamber music, um, direct thoughts, direct, melodies, expressions, some things, like uh, like to build those construction, and to make the listener not to get lost in this.
Mm.
Like from heart to heart and ears, like
Mhm.
this.
That's great.
Interesting. The way you said it, I was trying to visualize your process as you were saying that. But it's a lot of hard work and discipline, like I said earlier, and it's constantly following that, right? So it's not easy for everyone to keep up with that. You know, similar on the similar lines, as a performer and a composer, what feels more vulnerable, interpreting someone else's work or presenting your own?
Well, it depends. It depends. Yeah, I do love to perform, and I've heard a lot. Recently, I've heard a lot of things like, "Wow, we did know you were as a songwriter or composer, but we didn't know you were too good at violin." I don't know why. And sometimes it was like vice versa. Yeah, we
Hmm.
we didn't know you as an excellent violinist, but we didn't know you compose or even sing or even draw. It's like yeah, I'm full of surprises. What can I say?
So, but when you go on stage presenting your own work, do you think that carries a lot more? Um, what's the word I want to say over here? Maybe that carries a lot more weight, or in the sense you're more kind of careful, and because you want to be able to present this in a way you thought of and how it was on the record. So do you feel that there's that a little bit of pressure even after all these years of, because you've been playing for so long and performing for so long, do you still feel that with the new piece or even like an old piece or anything, like when you're always going on stage and performing?
Yes, I feel it's kind of two questions, right? uh, as I get this, um, uh, what about performing my own music as
Hmm.
a instrumentalist? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a lot of pressure because I'm the person who might get hurt, you know, about I can say yeah, that's Mozart's fault or Paganini's fault or whatever this composer from this 20th century or 21st century. Yeah, that's how they compose this. Um,
Hmm.
when I perform, everything is my fault. You know, yes, some people do listen to recordings. Some
Yes.
do not. Some do not. And it's kind of, you know, the matter of inspiration, the matter of focusing before going on stage. And after all, music is a joy.
Hmm.
That's not like punishment. It is a joy.
No.
And we
No.
need to bring this joy, even if our music is about some sad things. Like I recently performed my sonata Warzone, which I dedicated to the soldiers, like my great grandfather. And yeah, it was some kind of pressure, but yeah, it's sad but light, a lot of light in this music.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
uh, I felt like the audience like drowned in this, and mm, they didn't judge. They just was with me each
Hmm.
moment, each second. Yeah. And the second question, right?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was it?
I mean,
I
when
think that,
no, it's okay. When you kind of, let's say, performing someone else or interpreting someone else's work, right?
yeah,
Like work that is, yeah,
the first time, like premiere, right?
right, right.
Yeah. Okay. So I am experiencing this a lot because it was like since the conservatory, everybody knew I'm like a super rare student. Two faculties, I perform, I compose, and I do everything, a lot, a lot of stuff, and a lot of students and even teachers and site composers and a lot of composers abroad, um, heard
Oh.
my
Wow.
videos or recordings, and they kind of competed between each other to give me the new pieces they just composed. And
Mm.
I must admit, I didn't agree to perform each piece I got because I kind of have my own judgment on the shape of music, on the thoughts that in this music, and I'm kind of you know melody stuff fan. I don't like super noisy music without
Hmm.
nothing. Yes, and it's very interesting and like a kind of different side of expression as an artist
Hmm.
when you have an honor to perform really good or great music for
Hmm.
the first time. And sometimes it was already broadcasted or recorded, which means it's like the one shot, you have one take on stage,
Wow.
and then everybody will listen to this. Yeah, it's kind of super great for me. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to prepare, to rehearse. And actually, recently, I did have such experience as a conductor,
Wow.
because I am so proud. I conducted the first time in my country the huge work of Antonin Dvorak. This is Oratorio Saint Ludmila, which have never performed in the Russian Emperor, in the USSR, and in Russia Federation.
Mm.
And I was like the first composer in my crew, great vocalists, and
Nice.
they sang in another song in Czech language. And yes, it was like super great, and I think we're gonna repeat this performance very soon. And it was like, yeah, everybody will point at the conductor too. Yeah, and you are too a woman. Yes, everybody will point at you. Definitely, will keep watching on your mistakes, your mistooks. Like, but there were no mistakes. We're
Oh,
all great, great cues and great ensemble, etc. Yes, and it's different experience, and it's definitely I'm super responsible, and I do my best.
nice.
That's super. You know, and you actively collaborated with many different artists uh, across the, I can say, recording academy, and I have and got nominated for your work in Grammys. So how do these moments of recognition shape your inner compass as an artist?
Well, it shapes each time I'm getting, an invitation or something, because I didn't work in certain genres. I no, I don't live in a bubble as an artist. I do a lot of stuff in world music, jazz, and even pop and rock music, and besides of classical and
Mhm.
classical contemporary stuff. And yeah, and it's new each time because yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes I do have sheet music, like you know I have to play what they composed exactly, but most of time I compose myself, which means I am kind of co-compose, co-produce this music,
Mhm.
right? And sometimes it's much more work than working on my own projects, because I
Mhm.
I certainly do know what I have to do. And when it comes to collaboration, I'm like trying to to impress everyone. Yeah, in a good way. But sometimes it's collaboration, which means everyone is the main character, like
Right.
multiple main characters in one, and they shouldn't, to disturb each other. And I do really like to work this way too. Yeah.
That's great what you said towards the end over there. It's like when people are collaborating, everyone's the main actor, and so that is so important. And it's so nice you think like that because at least I know I have collaborated with certain folks, and there's always that one person or two people are like, well, I called you and I'm more superior, whatnot, and it just immediately the flow is gone, right? You're like, okay, let me just get this and get out of here. Kind of. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Do your own stuff. Yeah. Yes.
yeah,
I certainly
yeah,
felt sometimes, but yeah. You know, year after year, I'm kind of growing up with these connections, which is very amazing. Being a recording academy member, the main thing is not to get those things like trophies or certificates. Not like this. It's the main thing is to collaborate. I think
yeah,
this my main goal. Yeah, we don't know about stars, and we kind of trying to be like stars in different different shapes. But yeah, being collaborative artist, it's a huge honor and huge responsibility.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's even sometimes it's even more responsible being like the one person
Mhm.
like doing his own stuff.
and and also, continuing on the topic of collaboration and recognition. So you've been involved in large musical communities and organizations worldwide. So from all these things, what have you learned about the power of these artistic networks and global collaboration?
Yeah, first of all, when I joined those societies, I I definitely thought about like I do have to learn something new. I do need to meet more interesting people. Uh, you know, to be involved in events, even those are online events. It's okay, and those projects and what I've learned. That's I can do everything, right? I didn't know before this. I didn't know I can go this far in a couple of years ago, and I didn't know I will be working with such great musicians. And as I said, sometimes my parents still freak out because I'm telling them, yeah, this guy, look at him, look at his Wikipedia page or something. He just invited me or whatever. That I just like, wow. Yes, yeah, they did really supported me and still supports me during my life in music, and
Mhm.
I'm kind of trying to pay it off.
Very nice, very nice.
Great. No. And uh, when I was reading your website, the one prominent thing I got to know about you is you have developed your own teaching method and you lead master classes for the young musicians, the next generation of the musicians. So, what do you believe these young artists need most in today's time beyond the, of course, technical mastery?
Yes, I'm certainly into teaching because you know to pass your uh, luggage as a musician, and if you read my biography, you should
Yeah.
know what violin stars have been my teachers, or I will participated in their master classes like superstars in classical music. and I'm just trying to help. First of all, to help. Sometimes I do see a talented musician. It's sometimes he or she just has a lack of certain direction in his life or educational process. Because I can replace myself, I can clone myself and be like in each city, in each country. But I'm trying to do my best in this, and I'm like kind of soon we'll be doing the masterclass again, the offline masterclass. And what I'm focusing when I'm working with the person I first met. I just like see if it's a girl, if it's a boy, its age, its experience. I certainly do have to now its teacher, because it depends. And what about my method? Is I am both composer and performer. I always try to point attention of young performers to the music, because sometimes they lost these things because of
Right.
stuff. Yes, and for me, it's very important to remind them and to certainly to inspire them. And yeah, it's kind of weird, but I was so glad to hear that. Recently, I did masterclass in St. Petersburg, and one of teachers like said, "We are so happy to have you here." I don't know why they were so happy. Yes, and as they just said, that like a fresh air or something. you know, the the teachers said, not students, teachers. And I'm trying to pursue this and be this fresh air, at least a sip of air to all these amazing, talented people I'm working with. Because I don't believe we, each each person has a talent. Yes, and it just ways how to develop this, how to inspire the person, how to to coach in a good way. It's difficult, but it's simple at the end.
That's great. I mean, yeah, teaching is a noble profession, and like Sandeep himself, uh, he was a teacher for, if I'm right, 20 years. Sandeep, before 10 or 20
Well,
years.
on and off, but 13 years for stretch. But also before that, I had taught. So I taught at college level, and it is very noble, really. And uh, I always say, not everyone can do it. You need to have
Exactly.
patience. There's a lot of things you need. It needs to come from within too. That you really want to be able to impart that knowledge. It's not for everyone.
Yeah. Like I agree.
Definitely.
I am a very bad teacher. So not I am sitting with one of the two best teacher right now with Anne and Sandeep. So I'm very bad teacher. I accept
Yeah,
that.
I've taught thousands of students. I've graduated thousands of students in a yeah. So it's feels yeah. It was very humbling, and it was very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, from this teaching topic, I just have one question in my mind. Like when you were learning your music in your young age, uh, so you know what you were thinking about, like this is music and your perception about it. So when you are teaching now to this generation Alpha, Generation Z, so what difference do you see in this today's kids about their perception towards the music and how they see the world differently than what we have seen in our young age?
Yeah, I get it. Um, you know, the we as human beings didn't change a lot. We still have two legs, two hands, so one head, for God's sake, not two or three. Um, yes, and this is the method of keeping the student in focus. Like,
Okay.
yeah, because in real life they constantly like tapping or something, yes, and glued to their tablets or phones. And sometimes, yeah, 50 minutes too hard to practice. 50 minutes in a row. Oh my God. What can I say about my 10 hours or whatever?
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
it's just like to bring those um, words like associations, synonymous to something related to their life, or you know, I didn't see a person who lacked the focus during my classes, even though I sometimes it's not like 30 minutes or like short. It's sometimes up to 2 hours because when I have time, I can do more. I can do better and help. I can help more. And I didn't see the sign of being tired or something. And I just kind of see the person and I already know what to tell them
Mhm.
to make this interesting, because I'm not the person who tries, to kill somebody's interest in music.
Right.
Like, you will run in this place, you will lack in techniques here or there or whatever. I'm not the kind of person. Definitely, my goal is to inspire, not to kill somebody's interest.
That's good.
And yeah, it's some kind of I do have to know certain things, how to operate during the class or master class, um, and I just find my own way to each student
That's
like this.
amazing. That's really good. I'm sure your kids are very happy learning from you. Something on similar lines, but slightly different. As a you've been a mentor and a judge in international competitions, right? So how do you balance honoring tradition while still encouraging originality in music?
Mm. Sometimes I do think I do have two brains or something. I don't know.
Well, there's always the
Yeah,
left and right, right?
or I don't know, or something in the back extra. I don't know. Yeah, or the forehead. Mm, yes. I do love innovations. I do it, but as you might notice, all my stuff I do myself. My songs are those music is based on on classical music
Uh,
rules, rules and expressions. Even though I'm trying to put emotions,
mhm,
like to make it looks like a pop or alternative music, at the end, you will definitely hear it's something related to orchestral music or something related to 19th century music,
mhm,
because I value traditions and I'm the kind of person who tries to impress people who listen to songs to go back and listen to classical music or contemporary classical music, because
okay.
on my opinion, those are origins. Those are origins, and classical music is not just uh, like 3 centuries. It's a whole bunch of things, like our own history as a human beings. Um, like we didn't see our ancestors and we didn't hear a lot of music before a certain era. But classical music is what we inherited from, I don't know how exactly much we are on this planet. It's different theories, and it's something from deep inside from our minds, from our history as a human beings. And yeah, as I said, I do love contemporary music, and I do contemporary music, but I do this my own way.
Got it. Nice.
That's great. Like after almost more than a decades of performance and your composition and leadership, which part of your artistic journey still feels unfinished to you? Something you are still reaching towards?
Well, I think it's still being a recording artist, because I'm like a child in this industry. I'm like started at approximately 12 years ago, or whatever. Yeah, I do have a lot of credits, but I'm still like super young in this world. And I think the second thing is conducting, because I'm like a very super child in this. And as a lot of good people said, the conducting is a profession of the second half of life. I don't know what it is about. I don't know how much will I live on this planet, but I'm definitely doing this, and keep doing my violin stuff and keep creating songs, and I do love to do this all
Hmm.
like this.
Wow.
Very
No,
good.
that's great. I mean, and really, your journey is really inspiring. The things you have achieved in your life is really commendable, and for that, it's huge respect from both of us. We wish you the
Thank
great
you very much.
things in the future, and most, and thank you so much for spending this time with us. Like, we really
Yeah,
appreciate.
thank you very much. And
Yeah.
I think it's very important for artists sometimes to recap themselves, and
Yeah.
those interviews are like super important, not just for the audience when we show our lives,
Hmm.
because music is our life, definitely, but for artists too, because yeah, sometimes we remember something from the past, and we just okay, I should pursue this, or I should, yeah, I did have unfinished songs from back to, I don't know, 3-4 years. I should finish this immediately. I don't know what this, but thank you guys a lot. Thank you.
No, we really
No,
appreciate.
yeah, super appreciate. This conversation is amazing. It really reminds us that mastery is not just about achievement. It's about dedication. It's about curiosity. It's about continuing to evolve as an artist, right? So it's so amazing that you could talk to us.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah. And so, to everyone who's listening, thank you for being here with us. If this resonated with you, make sure you join our community on Discord, where different artists from all over the world connect and talk about the art and music. We are looking forward to talk with you over there, and we will see you in the next episode of the Artist Conversation.